What if better health decisions came from understanding what's really going on, not just doing more? Welcome to Sanando Juntos, Healing Together with Alma. I'm your host, Dr. Alma, pharmacist turned functional health coach. This podcast is for people who want clarity around their health without overwhelm, extremes, or quick fixes. Here we talk about the mental, spiritual, and physical foundations of functional health and how science, intuition, ancestral wisdom, and lived experiences all play a role in real life health decisions. My goal is to help you understand patterns, make sense of your symptoms, and feel more confident about what steps actually matter next. Grab your cafecito, your matcha, or whatever's fueling you today, and let's talk health. Salud. So you're not feeling well, and you finally worked up the courage to say something. So you go see your doctor, you get the labs done because you feel like something is just not right. And then the labs come back, and good news, everything looks normal. You have nothing to worry about, says the doctor. You walked out of there thinking, cool. So why do I still feel like crap? Yeah, you still don't feel good. You're exhausted all the time. You're inflamed. You're moody for no reason. You're bloated and you're disconnected from your body. This is usually the moment people start to doubt themselves and they start to think, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe it is just stress. Maybe this is just how it is now. Maybe it's just a part of being old or getting older. But here's something really important that I want you to know. The body knows way before the lab values even change. This doesn't mean that the labs are wrong. It means that the body is really, really intelligent and it starts to detect imbalances long before conventional medicine has a way to measure it. Before we go further, I want to bring it back to some basics for just a moment. Labs are incredibly useful tools. They give us a lot of information. They help us rule things out. They help us catch disease. But labs are snapshots. They capture a moment in time. And it's not always the full story of how your body got there or what is going on that your body is already detecting that they are not. Most of these labs are in reference ranges that are built on population averages, not on optimal function, not on how you're feeling. So when something comes back as quote unquote normal, what it really means is that you fall somewhere within this very broad statistical range of values. And that doesn't mean that your energy is optimal. It doesn't mean that your hormones are balanced, that your nervous system feels safe, or that your metabolism is actually working like it should. Labs often catch disease after a dysfunction has already been quietly brewing under the surface and it's finally coming out to be seen. So here's what I want to take with you today, if nothing else, is that labs are useful, but they're just not the whole story. This is where we bring the body back in. Sometimes there are often very early signals like fatigue, cravings, mood changes, shifts in cycles, and there's many different kinds of cycles in our body, digestive issues, changes in our sleep. All of these things, they're not random. Your nervous system and metabolism are constantly sensing your environment based on your stress, your sleep, your blood sugar, inflammation, the emotional load that you're carrying, and they're responding it to así, rapidito, rapidito. And here's where people start to get uncomfortable. They start to get uncomfortable with using their intuition. Pero intuition isn't some magical sixth sense, it's actually biological. Intuition is rooted in the nervous system that's processing this information faster than your conscious mind can even conceive. Your body is taking in all of this data all day long and constantly sending that feedback. So, this is not out there or alternative, it's biology. But you know what's really interesting is that at some point we stop trusting ourselves, not just with health, really with everything. Somewhere along the way, the intuition became quieted. Like if you listen to your body instead of immediately deferring to science, something was wrong with you. Who does that nowadays, right? If you question things, you are being dramatic, or you get the eye roll from the providers who don't have time to answer all of your questions, even if you're left questioning things. If you hesitated or declined a treatment, you were being difficult. If you said, I don't know, this doesn't feel right, suddenly you're labeled as anxious or uninformed or anti science. And that's not what science was ever supposed to be. Science was meant to help us understand things, but not to replace what we are literally experiencing in our bodies. Modern culture flipped that somehow. Now, if you don't trust the science, full stop, no questions, no context, no nuance, you must be crazy. And that puts people in a real weird position because, on one hand, you're told, listen to the experts, trust the science, don't be Googling, don't overthink, don't question. And on the other hand, your body is literally tapping your shoulder like, hey, something is wrong. So, what do most people do when that happens? They ignore the body, they push through, they start doubting themselves, then they numb. They normalize feeling bad because it's safer to doubt yourself than to question the system, especially if you've been taught that authority knows better than your own lived experiences. But I'm here to tell you that your body is not political, your nervous system is not ideological, your metabolism doesn't care about these opinions. Your body responds to the inputs that we talked about: the stress, the food, the sleep, the environment, emotional load, years of pushing past your limits, and it keeps track. So when something feels off, that's not being anti anything. It's information. That's all it is. And ignoring that information doesn't make you rational, it just makes you disconnected. And this is exactly why so many people end up in this confusing place where the labs say fine, the doctor says normal, but the body says no. And you're left wondering who to trust, the experts or your gut. And that's not a failure on your part. That's just a system that forgot to hold nuance and differences that we all experience. This is a part that I see all the time. You can have labs in range, you can have that doctor that's saying everything looks fine, and still be experiencing real dysfunction because this happened to me. If you missed it, go back to episode 1 to hear about my experience with this very same thing. And as healthcare providers, we're faced with this dilemma. You're being dismissed as a patient because you have normal labs, but it doesn't mean that the patient is lying. It doesn't mean that medicine has failed. It just means that we're missing something. Here's what it really comes down to. Numbers alone don't tell the whole story, and feelings or intuition alone can be confusing. So we need both pieces to see the whole picture. Listening to your body doesn't mean that you're ignoring science. It means you're asking better questions, you're tracking patterns, you're noticing trends over time, you're advocating for yourself calmly and clearly, and you're allowed to say something feels off. I want to dig deeper. I want to say this because a lot of you need to hear it. Your body isn't being extra, it's asking for your attention. Your body is on your side. Symptoms are messages that it's sending you. When you stop fighting your body or being mad and frustrated at it, maybe, just maybe, try to actually start listening to it, and you'll see that everything changes. When logic and intuition work together, clarity follows. And lastly, I want to say this to you with so much love. When you're faced with a question about your health and well being, just think about it. Give yourself time and space to think on it. Notice how your body feels. Use logic and reason, not fear. You don't have to be a scientist to try to figure out what may be going on based on your history or what's been going on in your life. We don't need studies to tell us how we feel or how we react to we consume. We don't need science to catch up with our own intuition and logic. So, if there's one thing I hope you take from this talk today, it's this: your body isn't failing you, it's paying attention. And when you start listening earlier, you give yourself options to be proactive and not act out of fear, panic, and reactivity to what's going on. In the next episode, we're going to zoom out a bit and talk about the bigger picture, about why so many people are dealing with chronic health conditions and health issues now, and how our food, our systems, and our environments help shape that risk, especially in our communities. And it's not to scare you or blame you, but to remind you that awareness gives you power and choice matters so much. Until next time, take care of your body because it's your real ride or die. Thanks for spending this time with me on Sanando Juntos, Healing Together. I hope today's conversation helped you see your health a little more clearly and feel more grounded about where to go next. If this episode was helpful, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who might benefit from hearing it too. That's how this community grows and how these conversations reach the people who need them. If you're ready for more personalized guidance, you'll find ways to work together and learn more in the show notes. Until next time, cuídate mucho, trust the process, and remember, we heal juntos siempre. Ciao, ciao, baby. But wait, there's more. The legal stuff. I gotta say it. This podcast is for educational purposes only. It's not intended to diagnose, treat, or replace medical care. I'm a pharmacist and a functional health coach, but I'm not your personal healthcare provider. Talk with your physician or qualified healthcare professional before making changes to medications, supplements, or your health routine. Take what resonates, move at your own pace, and make decisions that feel aligned for you.